That was a lot more dramatic than we expected, but the Raptors hold on for dear life to win the ball game against the Hornets in Charlotte, 112-110. This is the Airborne Podcast. I'm your host, Ajith, and unfortunately for Charlotte fans, like last season, they did not have Jeremy Lamb or Kemba Walker to help Michael Jordan's team come out of nowhere and steal a W from the Raptors. But there was a lot that went down. The first half especially was a tale of two. It was basically a game of runs. That's what it was. Like if you just saw from the first quarter all the way to the beginning of the third quarter, I'm going to break it down for you and tell you exactly what went down. So to start the game, the Raptors were up 6-5. And then all of a sudden, the Charlotte Hornets go on an 11-0 run and somehow take a 9-point lead, and they're up 19-10. That was the first run of many runs to come in this game. The Raptors come back and respond in that first quarter on their own 13-0 run and end up taking the lead 23-19, being up 4. Then Terrence Davis has a thunderous dunk in that first quarter. He goes for 13 points alone by himself. And then Malik Monk also had a vicious dunk in that first quarter. I don't know if you guys caught it, but if you did, there was 2 amazing dunks in that first quarter. Charlotte comes back after we go on that 13-0 run and come back and respond on their own 5-0 run to take the lead 24-23. And then the Charlotte Hornets end off the quarter on a 7-2 run. It was just, that first quarter was just back and forth. It was just the momentum was swinging between the Raptors and the Hornets. And if you were watching the game, you understand exactly what I'm saying. Like I said, Terrence Davis in that first quarter had 13 points on his own. And the crazy part about it is this was his first start, I believe, on the season. And he only had 5 minutes last night against, what's it called? Yeah, he had 5 minutes last night for the whole game. And Nick Nurse said it was 5 minutes too many. And it's crazy because the good thing about it is that the Raptors were able to flip the switch real quick and go on and move on to the next game because they did have a back-to-back. And the good thing for Terrence Davis is he can forget about that bad game he had. He's had a couple bad games, but he was able to come out with an outstanding performance that we needed tonight with all the other players in the starting lineup playing crazy minutes and being so fatigued. You saw everyone kind of holding on to their jerseys toward the end of the night. And the fact that this game went into overtime did not help any Raptor. Because I know Kyle Lowry for a fact, I'm going to go back and double check, but he definitely played the most minutes out of any starting player tonight. And the first meeting that Terrence Davis had against the Hornets, he scored 16 points in the fourth quarter. So I don't know what it is, but he has something against his team. He loves playing them, clearly. And going into the second quarter, though, to start the second quarter, the Raptors score 6 field goals on 6 assists. And then Terry Rozier goes on a mini 6-0 run with back-to-back threes. And then the Raptors come back and respond with back-to-back threes from Matt Thomas and Chris Boucher. Then Charlotte comes back on another 6-0 run in the second quarter. And then the Raptors come back and respond in their own 10-0 run with back-to-back threes from OG Anunoby and Kyle Lowry. And then Serge Ibaka comes with a little reverse dunk. And then OG goes through the lane, soaring for an open dunk. The Toronto Raptors closed off the first half on a 15-0 run, and they closed the second quarter off on a mini 5-0 run. Now, Kyle Lowry didn't have the best game tonight. He didn't score 20 points, but in the last 10 out of 12 games, he has had 20-plus points. Tonight was not that night because you could see he was fatigued. If you watch the game, you'd know what I'm talking about. Miles Bridges, he was one main reason that the Charlotte Hornets were able to stay in this game. In that first half, he had 5 threes for 17 points. He was torching the Raptors from 3. And when I say torching, The man did not look like he was going to miss at all. And then Patrick McCaw got it going in the third quarter. He got it, actually not even in the second quarter, He had 9 points in that second quarter to get the team going. And compared to what he had last night, last night he was trash on the offensive end. But tonight he had it going. He had a double-double. I'm going to break down the stats for you when we're done talking about everything that occurred in this game. But in that third quarter, Miles Bridges comes out again, comes with a putback dunk, and then has a three-pointer, another three, the 6-3 for the game. At that point, I think he was shooting like 83% or 75% from three. He was either 6 of 7 or 6 of 8 from three at that start of the third quarter. And he went on his own mini 5-0 run. Then the Raptors come back and respond with their own 5-0 run, where OG scores back-to-back buckets in the paint. And at this point, we had 19 assists on 24 field goals. So we were on track to get 30 assists. The first meeting we had against the Charlotte Hornets, we had 40 assists on 50 made field goals, which is crazy. We also had 6 steals at 6 steals, which led to 12 fast break points. And then Toronto Raptors grew their lead to 11, going on a little, not a little run, but 11-1 run. Serge Ibaka had a nice block on Terry Rozier in that third quarter, which led to a 2-on-1 fast break where Patrick McCaw dished the ball to Terrence Davis for a transition dunk. By the end of through 3 quarters though, the Raptors had 24 assists on 29 field goals. And the Raptors ended up, the crazy part about it is, I don't even want to get back into it because I completely forgot about this, but the Toronto Raptors in that third quarter, they had a 12-point lead, right? They had a 12-point lead. The starters check out. The reserves come in. I think Patrick McCaw was the only starter in the lineup because they needed a second ball handler along with Terrence Davis. Or actually, no, Terrence Davis was in the starting lineup. So he was out. Patrick McCaw was with the reserves. And he had a turnover, a crucial turnover behind the back where it just led to Terry Rozier stealing the ball, giving it to Malik Monk for an and one layup. And then Malik Monk misses the free throw, and Chris Boucher gets called for a loose ball foul, and then sends Cody Zeller to the free throw line, and then he makes 2 free throws, cuts the lead 82-76, and they weren't able to recover in that third quarter. They were like leaking oil, and by the end of the third quarter, the Raptors were only up by 1 point, 82-81. Dwayne Bacon hits a 3 at the end of that third quarter to cut the lead to 1. And it didn't just end there. Starting off the fourth quarter, they gave up 7 more points. So from the end of that third quarter to the start of that fourth quarter, they gave up a 16-0 run basically. But all in all, it was a 13-2 run for the 13-2 run for the Charlotte Hornets in that fourth quarter altogether. The Raptors could not buy a bucket until probably midway through that fourth quarter, and it's so uncharacteristic of the Raptors, but fatigue had to play in factor to this, but they were missing so many free throws. They were 12 of 13, 93% or 96% from the free throw line going into that fourth quarter. And after that fourth quarter, Serge Ibaka misses 3 straight free throws, which is uncharacteristic of him, but you knew he looked the most tired out of everyone out there. We only scored 34 points in that fourth quarter, roughly. I think it was like with a few minutes left in the fourth quarter, we only had 34 points in that second half, and we were only shooting 35%. Until Kyle Lowry, basically right when Kyle Lowry hit that 3 to cut the lead to 195-94, we were only shooting 35%. But the Raptors responded, being down 10 to the Charlotte Hornets because Terry Rozier hit a 3, put them up 94-84. And then the Raptors responded after that because we know Charlotte is not a good team. They've had many troubles closing out games, and we're a championship team who knows how to execute no matter how fatigued we are. And we responded and showed that tonight. And we went on our own 7-0 run. It could have been a 10-0 run if Serge Ibaka was able to hit his free throws, but he couldn't. And then we had a chance to take the lead, which we did. Kyle Lowry hits a left-handed layup to put us up 100-99. But then everything was working against the Raptors. And before that layup, though, I thought there was going to be deja vu again with the refs screwing up a call for us one more time, because Devontae Graham clearly gets hit, but it was a blocking call. Thank God Charlotte did not have a coaching challenge, because they used it in the third quarter, which they lost. But it was a blocking call, but it looked like the referee was going to call a charge. But then Kyle Lowry looked at him, and he stuck to the block call, which is good for us. The unfortunate thing was Kyle Lowry bricked 2 free throws. But he redeemed himself with that left-handed layup to put us up by 1. But then the Raptors' bad luck continued, as Serge Ibaka is found holding onto P.J. Washington's jersey. The referee calls it, and because it happened before the ball was inbounded, they gave the Charlotte Hornets a free throw, which tied the game at 100 because Terry Rozier made it. And then Devontae Graham had the possession, to win the game or take it to overtime. He missed it, hit the front of the rim. We went into overtime, and Patrick McCaw comes through again and messes things up. And it scared me again for a second there, because it felt like deja vu again with the Portland game, right? Because that's what costed us the game. That's what got Carmelo the winner last night. So Patrick McCaw gets the steal, because Serge Ibaka gets the first bucket to start the overtime, puts us up 102-100. Patrick McCaw gets the steal. He's driving. I don't know why he's in a rush, but he is. And then he goes. Oh, my God. He goes, and then he gets stripped by Terry Rozier. And Patrick McCaw's looking at the refs going, "What happened? I don't know, man. I got fouled." No, you didn't, bro. You lost the ball because you were tripping in transition when you should have pulled it out and gave it back to Kyle Lowry to do a set play. But what happens? Terry Rozier robs the ball, gives it up to Devontae Graham for a pull-up 3, and then they go up 103-102. Then they come back again. Raptors don't make a bucket. They come back. Terry Rozier gets Ibaka on a switch. And then, he knows he's fatigued, so he goes, swerves through the paint and gets an easy bucket in the paint. And then they put him up 105-102. But this is where the heroics come in. The undrafted rookie, Terrence Davis II, comes out in that overtime. And he gets an assist from Serge Ibaka, hits a 3, ties the game 105-105. And then Kyle Lowry gives him another assist for another open 3. And he hits back-to-back 3s to give himself 23 points. He had 23 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists tonight in his first start. With all our bodies down, he came out and showed out. He did not pout about what happened against the Portland Trail Blazers. He had the worst 5 minutes of his career. He comes out and does a complete 180 and kills it tonight and puts the Raptors on his back in that overtime and, keeps us in that ball game and eventually helps us win it. There was a scuffle at the end, though, but I'm going to get to that in a second. Serge Ibaka, there was a possession there where, Terrence Davis grabs the board and he runs up. He passes Serge Ibaka. It almost turned into a turnover. God bless Serge Ibaka for having the hands that he does, being able to grab it and then get fouled. And then even with the fatigue, being able to pull it together, take his time, and knock down 2 clutch, crucial free throws. And that was the ball game because, the Charlotte Hornets did have a chance to win the game. Terry Rozier had it at the top of the key, but Terrence Davis played his defense and made him miss. And then I think Terrence Davis started screaming, and Terry Rozier got pissed off because obviously he thought he was talking to him. And there was a little kerfuffle, whatever you want to call it. And, that was it. They were going back and forth. Terry Rozier went in Terrence Davis's face, pointed his finger. Terrence Davis grabbed his finger, and then they just said a bunch of stuff, and then they walked off. Serge Ibaka, I'm gonna give him. He did look fatigued. He missed 3 free throws, but when it mattered most, he made the 2 that counted. and Terrence Davis was able to hold us together in that overtime. But he tied his career high for 7 straight double-doubles. And tonight, Terrence Davis, the second, had the most points by a Raptors undrafted rookie. So it was all in all a great night. Serge Ibaka had a double-double tonight. Terrence Davis had a double-double tonight. And Patrick McCaw had a double-double tonight. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to break down all the stats for you in that overtime and in that fourth quarter. The Raptors, 45% from the field for the game. They were 42 of 94 from the field. Charlotte Hornets were 38 of 86 for 44% from the field. 3-point percentage-wise, we shot 14 threes. Clearly it was on the road, so no French fries, I don't think. Or are there? I'm not sure. Let me know in the comment section if you still get free French fries. But they were 14 of 36 for 39% from beyond the arc, and the Charlotte Hornets were 15 of 37 for 40% from beyond the arc. Free throws, we were plus 90%, but with those crucial free throws we kept missing, we were 14 of 20, and we dropped to 70% from the free throw line. And the Hornets were 19 of 26 for 73% from the line. Rebounding, we were pretty tight, but they out-rebounded us 50 to 46. Offensive rebounds, we ended up beating them 14 to 13. Assists, we didn't have 40 like we did the first meeting against them in Toronto, but we had 34 assists tonight. They had 30. We had 7 steals. They had 6. We had 5 blocks. They had 6. We only had 10 turnovers. I got to credit the Raptors for one thing in the recent stretch, even though they've lost like 5 games out of the 11 that they've played. They're 6-5 right now with Norman Powell, Marc Gasol, Pascal Siakam all out. But one thing they're able to do on a consistent basis is take care of the ball and the defensive tenacity. Those things have been so consistent regardless who's in the lineup, but they have been doing a really, really good job. So credit to all those Raptors right now filling in for the starters. So we had 10 turnovers and they had 17, and then we had 23 fouls to their 21. But through the four quarters, including the overtime, the Charlotte Hornets outscored us in the first quarter 31 to 29. Then we came back and hit them in the mouth with the 31 to 24 quarter. So we outscored them by 7 in that second quarter. And then they came back and punched us in the mouth, and they outscored us 26 to 22. And the fourth quarter, they outscored us again 19 to 18. But that extra point that they got was from that free throw that Terry Rozier made from that jersey incident that Serge Ibaka got caught for before the ball got inbounded. And in the overtime, we outscored them 12 to 10, and we won the game 112-110. It was a 2-point game, clearly. Close game. And let's get into the individual stats. The individual stats across the board was amazing tonight for a lot of Raptors. This could have went to a lot of Raptors, and I'm talking about the player of the game. But clearly, Terrence Davis stood out the most, especially after a horrendous game from last night against the Trailblazers. But Patrick McCaw, in 43 minutes, aside from his blemishes, he had 13 points, 5 rebounds, 11 assists, 6 of 10 from the field, no free throw attempts, 1 of 3 from the three-point line with 1 steal, 2 turnovers. OG Anunoby, 36 minutes, 19 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 8 of 13 from the field, and 3 of 4 from the three-point line with no free throw attempts and a steal. Serge Ibaka, 39 minutes, 23 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 10 of 19 from the field, 2 of 5 from the free throw line, 1 of 1 from the three-point line with 2 blocks, 4 turnovers. Terrence Davis, 37 minutes, player of the game, 23 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 8 of 16 from the field, 3 of 3 from the free throw line, 4 of 8 from the three-point line with 1 steal. No turnovers. That's a big key. No turnovers tonight. Kyle Lowry did not have his best game, but he had 43 minutes, 15 points, 2 rebounds, 9 assists, 4 of 13 from the field, was not efficient, 5 of 8 from the free throw line, was not efficient, and 2 of 6 from the three-point line, was not efficient. He had 2 steals, 1 block, 2 turnovers, but he had a clutch 3 in that fourth quarter with a clutch basket to take the lead in that fourth quarter, so I'm not going to blame him for being fatigued tonight because he still pulled through when it mattered most. Rondae Hollis-Jefferson did not have himself the best game, but he had In 22 minutes, he had 8 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 of 4 from the field, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 0 of 1 from the three-point line, and 1 steal, 1 turnover. Now, the thing I was mad about with Rondae was when we were leaking oil in that third quarter. Why are you taking a three-pointer and airballing it? Like, can't you just step in a couple feet into the paint and shoot a floater, for God's sakes? Why are you shooting a three? That's like Ben Simmons shooting a three. You both have a very unorthodox shot, and it needs to stop. I do credit you for making your free throws tonight, but please, in possessions like that, when we need an actual bucket to stop the bleeding, do not take a three. We don't need that. That's a horrible possession. Matt Thomas, 14 minutes. He had a crucial stretch in that second quarter with 8 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 of 9 from the field, no free throw attempts, 2 of 6 from 3, and that's it. And then Chris Boucher, 14 minutes, 3 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 of 5 from the field, 1 of 4 from the three-point line, no free throw attempts, and 2 blocks. He had a nice block in the three-point attempt from I forget who, but he had a nice 3-point block. All right, Charlotte. PJ Washington, 40 minutes, 12 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, 4-7 from the field, 4-5 from the free throw line, 0-1 from the three-point line with 2 blocks, 4 turnovers, no steals. Miles Bridges, probably one of the best games he's had as a pro. 35 minutes, 26 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 10 of 15 from the field, no free throw attempts, 6 of 9 from 3, 1 steal, 1 block, 1 turnover. Bismack Biyombo, 32 minutes, 6 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 of 4 from the field, 2 of 4 from the free throw line, no 3-point attempts, 2 blocks, 4 turnovers. In that fourth quarter, he did pull up some big rebounds. Unfortunately, they didn't win the game, so it doesn't matter. Devontae Graham, 42 minutes, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 of 15 from the field, was not efficient. 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 3 of 9 from 3, was not efficient from the arc, and 1 steal. 3 turnovers. Not the best game from him, but he is a candidate for most improved player. Terry Rozier, 46 minutes, 27 points, no rebounds, 3 assists, 9 of 24 from the field, not efficient. 4 of 5 from the free throw line, 5 of 14 from 3, not efficient. 3 steals, 1 turnover. And everyone else is pretty irrelevant. But all in all, a really good game by the Raptors. Gutty win. You know, they literally dug into their core to get this W after a horrible comeback win from Portland. They gave that game up. They should have won it. We should be on a 3-game winning streak with Brooklyn, Portland, and tonight against the Hornets. But, you know, sometimes it doesn't go our way, and it caught up to us with our injuries and our undermanned team. But we'll see how it goes. Now we have some time to rest because our next game is on Sunday against San Antonio Spurs with DeMar DeRozan coming back to Toronto for the second time of the season. And by the way, the referees need to step their game up. I do not want to hear no bullshit 2-minute report saying that the Raptors should have got the call and that it was an offensive screen. This is regarding the Portland game. Like, it doesn't make sense. Why are you trying to reopen the wound? We already knew that information. Why are you telling us the obvious? It doesn't make any sense. Like, you'd think that we're that blind to not be able to see that was an offensive foul. Like, that wasn't a legal screen. Clearly, everyone in the arena knew that. Everybody in the whole world knew that except for the goddamn referee standing right in front of Hassan Whiteside and seeing it happen in action, play by play. It is what it is. I don't understand that 2-minute report that comes out. Like, if you can't change the result, why are you retelling us what we already know? Like, it's done with. Move on. It's so irrelevant. I don't understand. But yeah, it's very agitating. It pissed me off when I found that out before the game started, that they actually brought that up. We knew it was going to happen, but when it did, it just irritated me 10 times more. But DeMar DeRozan comes back to Toronto for the second time since being traded. We'll see how that game goes. But we only have 1 game in the next 6 nights. So the Raptors have a lot of time to rest, maybe get some players healthy, maybe get some more bodies back in the lineup. We shall see. But after that San Antonio game, I believe they play the Oklahoma City Thunder in Oklahoma. I believe it's Wednesday night they play them. And so we have one game in 6 nights. From now till the following Wednesday, we only play San Antonio. Or the following Tuesday, we only play San Antonio. So if you enjoyed this podcast, hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Check out my other videos, my other podcasts. I do rant about the referees all the goddamn time because they need to figure out how to do their goddamn job. Because they're costing not just the Raptors, but a lot of games. If you look around the NBA, they have costed so many teams with so many non-calls or so many bullshit calls. But yeah, that's going to do it. I'll see you back here for the post-game podcast against the Spurs Sunday night. But till then, stay blessed, stay woke, and peace!